Hey guys, welcome. I wanted to give a little example today. When we talk about bel canto or speech level singing or singing success, however you want to, whatever terminology you want to use, often we're talking about the same basic principles, the same basic goal. I talk about efficiency here, and I just want to go into that and give you a little example from one of the most efficient singers we've known. What do we mean when we talk about efficiency in singing? Purely from a technical level I'm speaking, not from, this is really separate from artistry or style. Good mechanics, good efficient technique. Ultimately what we're talking about is, can you engage the correct muscles to their fullest degree whilst keeping everything else relaxed? And really that is the ultimate determinant in terms of whether or not a singer is efficient or not. Can they engage the correct muscles to the maximum degree, aggressively, powerfully, and keep everything else relaxed? Ironically and interestingly, this is often the same factor that determines the difference between Olympic level athletes and national level athletes and national level athletes and county level athletes. The higher you go up the athletic spectrum, the more efficient athletes become. There was an interesting article I remember reading through, regarding this phenomenon. And basically it had a cross-section of rowers' legs, and it basically showed the inside of the wide part of their leg, the top part, femur, is it? That bone, the top half of their leg, a cross-section of it. And it showed what was happening, which muscles were activating in that cross-section for each, push and pull of the oars, basically. So as somebody's pulling the oars, obviously their legs are contracting and opening up again. And it showed the efficient use and how at each level the use of the correct muscles was very aggressive and everything else was maintaining relaxation. And this was a very clear and obvious distinction. As you go up in skill, you become more efficient and more successful when it comes to athletics. Now, not necessarily within singing, because singing isn't a directly, one-on-one competition in terms of who's technically better. But a lot of these ideas, in terms of success in singing, do carry over. There's definitely some correlation between efficient singing and successful singing. But like I say, it's not a black and white situation. There are also relatively poor singers who are successful, and there are very, very good singers who aren't successful. You get that less in the athletic field. Anyway, what I wanted to do is just go through this video a little bit. I need to listen, and especially towards we get to the end of this performance. It's not that long. Most of the end of that is just the audience applauding, so it's not a long clip. I wanted to hear as he opens up at the end, a very high note, full out. Most singers up there, you'd see a lot of effort in their face. This is young Pavarotti, really in his physical prime. Check as he opens up and he just ramps up there. His face is just like nothing, like it's nothing. Now in here, he's working hard, yeah? But everywhere else, it is like totally relaxed. This is a sign of an extremely efficient singer. I want you to listen and watch, listen to how efficient this is. Let's just play this. It's crazy, man. It's so crazy. I could watch that 100 times just because it is just, it's almost painfully efficient. It's like, how can it be that easy? And that's the beauty of efficient singing, is as you get more efficient and you engage the right muscles and relax everything else, people will comment, people will say, it just sounds so natural, so relaxed, so easy. Now inside you might feel like you're working very hard, but it won't necessarily sound like that to the singer. The ease is when people are talking about efficiency in singing, more so than it is physically easy. You know, singing high, full out is never going to be as easy, you know, as just, you know, walking along the street. It requires a certain amount of effort, and frankly, it requires a significant amount of effort. But you wouldn't necessarily think so watching that clip we just watched, because when the singing is very efficient and everything's relaxed, basically, we've only got so much we can give, so much effort we can put into something, yeah? There's a limit on that effort. Now, if that effort is dispersed among many muscle groups, yeah, it actually inhibits our ability to, you know, to sing as powerfully and as high as we potentially could do. Whereas if we are an efficient singer, we're focusing 100% of that potential energy in a very specific spot, in very specific muscles. So what efficient singing does, in effect, is it enables us to maximize our potential in terms of power, in terms of range, in terms of really anything technical you want to talk about. Because, again, we're able to focus all that potential and energy into a very laser-like, precise spot, rather than when we're inefficient singers and we're pushing, that energy is dispersed, it is kind of fuzzy, and our voice is compromised as a result. Often the singers that make it look hardest, you'll find, generally do struggle with range and generally do struggle with power. There's some sense of compromise in the sound. That's really it, guys. Check out this video. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to see the full performance. But I really wanted to talk about efficient singing, give you a good example, and make you, think about what we're talking about when we use these terms. Have a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want my help personally, you can book a one-on-one training session. Drop me a message. My email is in the description. And if you feel like this message was of value, then please feel free to make a donation equal to that value. Again, donation link is in the description. And finally, please share this video with other singers you know. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you in another video. Bye.